from the U.S. government, corporations on down, over and over and over and over again, you will hear about diversity. Look how diverse we are. We're super diverse, bragging about how diverse we are. Why do we have a press secretary? Remember, the press secretary, her job is to be the voice of the administration. It wouldn't matter if she had 8 eyes and was a human incarnate spider. If she could communicate properly, she would be qualified for the job. It is the only thing that matters. Doesn't matter if she's 8 feet tall, 2 feet tall, black, white, Asian, no matter what. Her job is to be the voice of the White House. That is her job. We call her affectionately here on the show Karine Diversity Hire because she got hired because she's a black lesbian. She can't speak in complete sentences. Credit to Karine, though, she seems to know that because when pressed at all about the disaster that is the Biden administration, look at what she brags about.
I want to take the opportunity to lay out how diverse the president's cabinet has been, how diverse the president's administration has been. The cabinet is majority people of color for the first time in history. The cabinet is majority female for the first time in history. A majority of White House senior staff identify as female. 40% of White House senior staff identify as part of the racially diverse communities. And a record 7 assistants to the president are openly LGBTQ+. So again, this is something that the president prides himself on. That he actually has taken action to show the diversity of this administration.
Jesse's Ginger Home Builders was a funny little ha-ha tongue-in-cheek way to open the show, but it does get a little bit more sobering when you realize the entire United States government is run in exactly that way. When they're sitting people down for interviews with critically important positions in this government, positions that affect your life, my life, positions that may cost lives. They don't sit them down and say, okay, what job are you here for? What are your qualifications for the job? They look at a room full of people and they say, wow, no, get rid of Whitey. Hey, white guy's got to go. Hey, we've already got too many Asians. We got to dump him. There's a woman there. Do we have enough women yet? Oh, we're not at half staff for the women. Let's get rid of the men. They place a priority on what doesn't matter at all. And that's why everything's dying. I had a pilot write to me, email to me. I have a bunch of pilots who email in ever since I went off about the vaccine mandates. We've developed a pilot viewership here for the show on I'm Right, and I had a pilot email into me and warn me about air travel in this country. You see airline after airline after airline. You can go see all their advertisers now. We need more women. We're hiring more black people. We're getting more and more diverse in the cockpit, openly bragging about stashing people in the cockpit with 300 lives at their fingertips, and their qualification is the color of their skin or their gender. And oh, by the way, it's not just pilots, it's the air traffic controllers. And, well, you know what? Here's a better example. I want you to sit back and breathe this in. It's going to be difficult to watch. I'm just warning you right now. I want you to breathe this in. The FAA, kind of a big deal. The big cheese nominated to run the FAA. Here's a minute or two worth of the person who's going to be running things.
So, Mr. Washington, can you quickly tell me what airspace requires an ADS-B transponder?
Not sure I can answer that question right now.
So what are the 6 types of special use airspace that protect this national security that appear on FAA charts?
Sorry, Senator, I cannot answer that question.
Okay, so what are the operational limitations of a pilot flying under basic med?
Senator, I'm not a pilot, so...
So can you tell me what causes an aircraft to spin or to stall?
Again, Senator, I'm not a pilot.
The death of everything. And I want to be clear, because I could go through the reason the Rear Admiral Buttigieg was hired. I could go through all the Biden administration, but I want to make sure that I'm clear about this. Yes, it's pervasive throughout the U.S. government, from the FAA to the military. This is going on everywhere, but this has infected the entire nation. As Harvard crowds out the qualified in order to get in more unqualified so they can be more diverse. Columbia University already announced they're ditching the ACT and SAT. Why? Because they're bad tests? No, because black people weren't doing well enough on them, so they dumped it. This is going on in corporate America. I already brought up the airline industry, but it's so much worse than that. Point after point after point. Cultural institution after cultural institution after cultural institution. They have all renewed their focus, so they now focus on what doesn't matter and they sacrifice what does matter. And that's why now you regularly run into utter morons in critical positions of power because they were hired for reasons other than their qualifications. And now you know why I call it the death of everything.